So today we have again come together, all of us, to understand the path to freedom and fearlessness. Yesterday we were discussing and sharing what this life is, how we are always under fear, tension and anxiety, and how we can, by knowing our real identity or real nature, we can know and understand and also reach that point or that stage in life where we can be free and fearless. So, at the end, I had taught you one shloka. I think, would you like to chant that and then we'll start? It was a very beautiful shloka. I think all of you felt that it is very helpful also. Whenever we are in any kind of distress, when we feel fearful or we are anxious, we should try to only remember that our real identity is not this weakness. We are strong and we are absolutely immovable, unchangeable. Always we are like that, and we are the soul. So this shloka, no, Akashavallepa vidura goham. Yes. So I will chant one line, you can say following me. Akashavallepa viduragoham adityavadbhasya vilakshanoham aharyavannityavinischanoham ambodhivat paravivarjitoham. Together. Akashavallepa viduragoham. Feel it. Feel the meaning. Aharyavannityavinischanoham ambodhivat paravivarjitoham. Akashavallepa viduragoham adityavadbhasya vilakshanoham aharyavannityavinischanoham ambodhivat paravivarjitoham. What is the meaning? You should feel and chant, by heart the meaning at least. Like the sky, stainless am I. Nothing can move me. I am absolutely stainless, taintless. Whatever happens in life, the real I does not get tainted at all. It is a mind which gets tainted and feels that I am happy or unhappy. Like the sun, self-luminous am I. I am bright and brilliant and luminous always. There is no darkness in me. Even if we face darkness in the mind, when there is hopelessness, we should remember this line, that like the sun, self-luminous am I. And I am ever poised and unshakable like the mountain. Nothing can move me. No happening in my life can move me at all. So, and I am vast and unbounded like the ocean. I am expanded. I am not a constricted person. My mind is expanded. It has no boundary. That is why it can embrace everybody. Embrace everybody. But in real life, we are not able to embrace. We dislike people, we hate people, we are not fond of people, we blame people, we criticize people, and we want to avoid those people. Whomever we do not like, I think you can put on the light now. Whomever we do not like, we try to avoid that person. So yesterday, I was talking to you about Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. And I told you, who is a Mahapurusha? Some characteristics. He is like a spring season. He brings in new life into our lives. When the mind is dark, or maybe it's very, very monotonous, you feel bored, in spite of having everything, all kinds of comfort, luxury, wealth, recognition, name, fame, still the mind feels it is empty, hollow. It tries to find out newer and newer things, tries to get engaged in newer and newer items of enjoyment, and it also thinks, what will I get by that, by which I will feel satisfied and contented? And it never happens. So, the Mahapurusha is such who brings about a change in our life. It shows us a path. And it tells us there is an aim in life. The aim is not only to just get born and live the life and die. The aim is, the higher purpose of life is to know what I am, what my real identity is. And the real identity, he explains, when he feels happy with the devotion of a person, the yearning of a seeker, then he comes in the form of a guru or a Mahapurusha and tells him that you are not the body, you are the soul. And you try, because you get identified with the body, mind and intelligence, you suffer in this life. Try to understand and experience who you really are. You are the eternal, unchangeable, immovable. You are like the sky, you are like the ocean, you are like the sun. And he gives us the knowledge. And by that knowledge, the mind feels strong, stable. So, the Mahapurusha, I was telling you about this Vivekachudamani. A seeker comes to a Mahapurusha, a wise or a jnani, a knower, and says that I am feeling as if I am getting scorched by this world. All the things which are happening around me is scorching me, as if a big storm is making me uprooted, as if I am getting drowned. So much of darkness I find. Though I have days of happiness, but most of the time I am anxious, I am tense, I am fearful in life. Most of the time. My fear is what? That whatever I want, suppose it does not stay. And what is also the fear? That suppose I do not get what I want. So fear of not getting and fear of losing what we have gained. So these are our fears. I think everybody, from a child to an elderly person, everybody has this fear. So he comes and tells, doing pranam to the Mahapurusha. That is the sloka I chant first. Always our mind should be bowed down in humility at the feet of the masters who have shown us the way. Yesterday I told you that all of us are very, very blessed. Why? Because we have come to know that there is something like spirituality, where we can know ourselves, we can tread this path, and we can attain that destination where there is no fear, where there is unaffectedness, where is eternal joy. So, he does pranam, Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandhu. O Master, I do pranam to you. Please lift me up from all this chaos that is happening in my mind and make me anxious and fearful. Tatha vadantam sharanagatam swam samsara davanalatāpataptam nirikshya karunya rasardra drishtya dadyadabhitim sahasa mahatma Tatha vadantam sharanaagatam swam samsara davanalatāpataptam nirikshya karunya rasardra drishtya dadyadabhitim sahasa mahatma. What is happening? Just think of the scene. I told you yesterday, we must have question in our lives. That is the life to be led only this way? Always shuttling between happiness and unhappiness? Or is there something higher than this? So, think and get identified with this seeker who has reached the feet of a saintly person, a sage, and has done pranam. And he tells me that, please lift me up. Please make my mind elevated. I have come to you because I don't find anybody else in my life who can give reply to my question, who can protect me, who can make me feel better. And when he says this, the seeker, while he says this, he has taken refuge. He says, I have taken refuge at your feet. And when he says this, this sage, the jnani, the wise person, he just looks at him. Nirikshya karunya rasardra drishtya. In what way does he look? His glance is full of karuna. What is karuna? Mercy, compassion. His glance is full of mercy and compassion. When somebody is telling that, my mind, it always remains very depressed. Or there is everything, but I'm so restless in the mind. I don't get sleep at night. I'm always worried about my sons and daughters. I'm always worried what will happen if my husband passes away. All those things. Or my business doesn't work out. So, when he says this, and he is very sad, the wise person, the sage, looks at him with glance filled of karuna rasa, and with that merciful glance, with that mercy and compassion, his eye is moist. Rasardra drishtya, with moist eyes. Moist by what? Moist not by water. Moist by compassion. He just looks at that person. Dadyad abhitim. He gives him what? Abhiti. Abhiti means fearlessness. Just by his look, just by looking at him, looking at that devotee, looking at that seeker, he is able to transfer fearlessness to him. Sahasa, immediately. Immediately by his glance, you feel as if all your problems are over. That is what should happen when we come near a Mahatma. And then what does he say? He has in his mind, he has said, he has given him abhiti, that is fearlessness. And he speaks out what? Ma bhishta vidvam stavanastapayah samsara sindhos tarane stupayah yenaiva yata yatayosya param tameva margam tava nirdishami. He feels pity for that devotee or seeker who comes to him asking that I have come to you, please give me refuge and shelter, make my mind elevated, because I am always finding my mind is restless with cluttered thoughts, this, that. I never feel peace in my head. I want to become calm, absolutely. And he says, don't fear. What does he say? Don't fear. I think all of us need to hear this. Somebody telling us, don't fear, nothing will happen to you. Don't fear, he says. He can only say, don't fear, who knows the abode of fearlessness. Who knows that, yes, if only you try a little, you will be able to go to that abode of fearlessness. My dear son, my dear daughter, only because you are not trying and you are not making effort, you are not reaching there. And he says, don't fear. You know, our Baba, Swamiji's Gurudev, I had first in my spiritual life, I had come in contact with him first. And in his first letter to me, he wrote, don't fear, God is within you. And I think that one sentence had given me so much of peace and so much of strength. Whenever there would be difficulty, I told you yesterday that I was young and there will be difficulties in passing exams and all that. So, getting good results or whatever happened, this one sentence was my guide and watchword. Don't fear, God is within you. So that presence could be felt within the heart. So he says, Ma bhaishta vidvam tavanastapaya. Don't fear. You will not be destroyed. There is a way. Many people have tread this path and reached that destination where there is fearlessness and freedom. Hold my hand, my dear. I will show you how to reach that destination, reach that goal, he says. And then it is for whom to hold the hand and go? It is for the devotees, for the seekers. But many fear to hold the hand, Many feel that, if he says that come this way, maybe I'll have to give up many of the things which I want to enjoy. So, if we want to go to the abode of fearlessness and freedom, we must come to a guru, a sage, a saint who has known the self and take his instructions. I'll say again and again, only listening will not do, only reading will not do, sitting in your house trying to meditate will not do. You have to take instructions and understand which way you should go. In Bhagavatam there is a story. Vasudeva, Krishna's father, he was after all the Mahabharata Yuddha and all that, Krishna was in Dwaraka. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they were also there. So one day sage Narada was passing by and Vasudeva asked him, please tell me, you have been hearing from your Lord, my son, Sri Krishna, how to attain this destination of fearlessness. You please tell me how I can be rid of misery and fear. Then Vasudeva was told by Narada certain things, and he talked about a story where Navayogis and Nimi Chakravarti, they met each other. 9 yogis. They just move around in this world. And once they came across a very big yajna which King Nimi was performing. When King Nimi saw these Navayogis, then King Nimi got up, worshipped them, because that is the tradition and culture. And then Nimi also asked the same question. Why this is given in this manner? Because when Narada was asked by Vasudeva, please tell me how to get rid of fear and misery, then Narada told him the story of King Nimi and Navayogis. So one by one, these yogis, they started instructing this King Nimi. The first one, he says one shloka. This shloka I first heard from Swamiji. Swamiji told me once in long back, and told that whenever you feel your mind is becoming, cluttered, or you are feeling fearful, chant this. What is this shloka? Manye akutaschid bhayamachyutasya padambujo pasanamatra nityam उद्विग्न बुद्धेरसदात्म भावात् विश्वात्मना yatra nivartate bhihi. I don't think it is there in the slide. So, I'll just tell you the meaning. Manye akutaschid bhayamachyutasya padambujopāsanamatra nityam. He said that if you want to become free of fear, when your mind is very, very anxious, you are becoming more anxious, more fearful, then only worship the holy lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Hari, who is in your heart, and worship him because he is Vishwatma. He is the all-pervading one Lord, and by being so, when there is only one, where is fear? You know, fear comes from where? From when there is a second person. If only one is there, how will fear come? Whom will we fear? Whom will we dislike? Whom will we hate? Because the soul is all-pervading. The soul is, everybody's soul is the same. So when there is only one, where from this fear will come? Where from hatred will come? Say, suppose when I scratch my cheek, my finger goes into my eyes. Do I scold my finger? Why have you got into my eyes? We do not, because it is part of me. Similarly, because thinking that Achyuta, who is Achyuta? Achyuta means what? Chuti means deflection, falling. So Achyuta is one who does not move at all. So catching hold the holy lotus feet of Achyuta, how can we have any kind of fear? Suppose there is a big storm and we are fearful and we climb the tree and catch hold of a narrow branch. What will happen? The branch will be moving with the wind with great speed and will be more fearful. Suppose we catch hold of the trunk, will we feel anything? Why we will not? Because the trunk is such which does not move. So when we are fearful, when we have fear, we have to worship that Lord, the Supreme Lord, who is Achyuta, who does not move and who is absolutely stable. By worshipping him, our anxious mind, which is becoming more and more fearful, we can become free of fear. So, then further he says, how will you do it? Once I asked Swamiji, he says, Swamiji, how will we remember all these things? Though we are hearing, though we are listening, we don't remember. As soon as we get into our day-to-day life and activities, we forget everything. Swamiji said, you sing the name of Lord. You know, that is why in our Shastras, in all our texts, it is said that sing the name of Lord. So these Navayogis then started telling Nimi Chakravarti that it's not only that you worship. How will you worship? How will the devotion come to you? Shrinvan subhadrani rathangapane. What is that? Next. Shrinvan subhadrani rathangapane janmani karmani chayani loke gītāni nāmāni tadarthakāni gāyan vilajjo vichareda sangaha. So, to remember him, see, don't lose the track. What we started saying, we have to reach that goal of fearlessness and freedom. We must be instructed by a knower, a wise person, and particularly a guru, who keeps on telling you that you are not the body, you are not the body, you are the soul. You are like the sky, you are like the sun, you are like the mountain and ocean. And nothing can destroy you. you are changeless. He says all that. And I have been telling that we must make effort to remember this. It's no use just listening and going away. If we want to reach that state, and I think we should be wise enough to reach that state, we must remember that our real identity is this. And we chant slokas like I chanted. And also, if we feel devotional enough, then we can sing these slokas also, Fill your mind with devotion. Fill the mind with God. Many times we want to sing kirtana. See, before this talk, so much bhajan was going on. Why are we arranging for bhajans? Why are we singing bhajans? Why are we doing kirtana? Because our mind melts in the thought of God. So you can sing this. Shrinvan subhadrani rathangapane. That is why when Nimi Chakrabarti asked the Navayogis, please tell me the way by which I will be free of fear and misery. They say, think of God. You worship Lord Achyuta. Think that He is the Supreme Lord. Because He is the Vishwatma, He is one without a second. He is all-pervading, everywhere He is. And worship Him. And how will you worship? Just sing His name. Sing His name. Like when I was entering, Aravindan was singing, Om Namah Sada Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. It is just taking a name. But when we chant and sing, after some time, our mind will be somewhere else and the lips will be moving and chanting. It becomes mechanical. Now the question is, I want to share with you how you can keep your mind focused so that you do not become such a person who sings and chants mechanically, in whom always the awareness is there. Whatever you do, that awareness of divinity, awareness of the soul is always there. Is it not something to be known? I think definitely yes. Shrinvan subhadrani rathangapane. So it says, this shloka says, that here the leelas or the play, the life of that Supreme Lord, what all He did. When He took birth, the Supreme Lord takes birth. What He did, what were the devotees like, who all worshipped Him, what were the qualities of the devotees. And listen to that. And that listening should be what? Again, don't forget. How should we listen? While we listen, we should always feel, am I like that? Am I like that? When we hear about a devotee, it is not a story. Actually, it is not a story. It's not when we listen about the stories of Prahlada, Sri Krishna, Sri Rama, or whoever, any other devotee, it is not a story that we should listen to. We should identify ourselves and feel, how devoted that person has been. Do I have that quality or not? Always there should be introspection. Do you agree or not? Is it something very difficult to do? No, not at all. So, Shrinvan subhadrani rathangapane. We hear the stories of Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavata. So many Bhagavata Saptahas take place. People go and listen. But the listening should be like this, where we constantly introspect. Do I have these qualities? When can I become like this? Prahlada, his devotion was tested by his father. His father made so many attempts to kill him even, because his father was an enemy of Lord Hari. And Prahlada was a great devotee of Lord Hari. So to take away the devotion from Prahlada's mind, the little boy's mind, his father did so many things, even tried to kill him several times. But still, Prahlada's mind remained fixed at Sri Hari's feet. Hearing that, what should we think? What should we think? Do I also have that kind of devotion? Where my devotion does not get deflected at all, does not get changed or moved at all. When there is a difficulty, we go and worship at the temple, we give puja. If we do not get the result what we want, we'll choose another temple, another deity. And there we will give puja. As if all the deities are different. God is one, only there are various deities. Because various people like to see God in different forms. Some want to see Him in the Krishna Rupa. Some want to see Him in the guise of Shiva. Some Kartikeya, some Devi. Just like our children, The child is the same. One day we will give a pink colored dress. Another day we will give a yellow colored dress. One day we will tie the hair of the child in one manner, give one kind of jewelry or a flower. So we are making the small child dress up in different manners because we want to see that variety. We are given to variety, that is why in our deities also we want variety. But actually God is one. God is one. And where is He? He is everywhere. Similarly, He is inside our heart. He is the most near and dear one. He is the most near and dear one. Even the husband and wife who are very close to each other, even to talk to the husband or vice versa, husband wanting to talk to the wife, you have to find out a time. You have to fix a time. When the husband is rushing to the office, you cannot then start telling something. Or the wife is very busy cooking or marketing, at that time you cannot, start talking something. Even to very close persons, we cannot always at our own convenience talk or sit together and share things. But the indweller is not like that. He is the closest one. We don't have to choose a time. We don't have to see the convenience. He is the indweller. He is always available. He is actually stretching His arms and telling us that, come to me. Look at me. I am inside you. But we, the fools, we are constantly looking outside and thinking that we'll get happiness from there. We do not look inside at all. But alas, if we did, then we will be constantly drinking that nectarine, amrita, nectar. We will be constantly drinking that happiness which never becomes zero. It is always there. Like a fountain, it is there. Inside us, there is a fountain of joy. If only we will look into it and we will touch it, we will be constantly, nirantara, without, unbrokenly, we will be drinking that nectarine joy. So, it says, this shloka, that listen to his stories, what all he did, how did he take birth, what all he did, and Gayan Vilajjo Vichared Asangaha. You start singing about him and move about. Go around, talk to people. When your friends come, you should tell, sit. I'll bring tea for you. I'll bring coffee for you. But first listen. I have read this, or I have heard this song. It's so beautiful. First listen. Do we do it? Very rarely maybe. Or maybe not at all. Not at all. Can we not do it? I'll tell you a story. I think I have told earlier also, but maybe some people would not have heard. Swamiji asked me to leave my job. When I was young, less than 30, I had worked for about, 7 years or so. No, not less than 30, just 30, 31, like that. So, he told me, you leave your job. And now you read Bhagavatam and other scriptures. You do research in that. So I knew no Sanskrit, very little. Very little I'm saying because Sanskrit is, I am a Bengali by birth. So Bengali and Hindi I know. That's very similar to Sanskrit. That is how. So I took the Bhagavatam, brought one Bhagavatam with English translation, brought a Sanskrit to English dictionary, and I would every day sit studiously to learn. I could not, how easily I can now chant. It is many years' efforts. But that time I could not even chant anything. And if I tried, I would get headache, because Bhagavatam slokas are very big ones. So, but I used to find a lot of joy. First of all, in that exercise. First of all, that I am doing something which my Guru has told me to do. To be able to do that, that used to give me a lot of joy, first of all. Secondly, to be able to sit for, say, I thought that I'll sit for 1.5 hours or so and study. So to be able to study and not, whiling away the time in doing other things, that was a great satisfaction. So then I was carrying on like that, and while reading, I would feel as if Krishna is just in front of my eyes. I think anybody who reads Bhagavatam, it happens to them. Now, one day, my neighboring lady, she was also young with 2 small children. The elder daughter had gone to school, and the second one, a small boy, I found that after her husband went away to the office, she, holding the hand of the boy, she came out of their house and she entered our house. It was a house with a little front garden and all that. So I could see from the window that she opened the gate and she is coming through the pathway. So I welcomed her, I made her sit and talked to her, and whatever she was saying, participated, gave her tea and some snacks, and she went away. But I was sorry because my time was over. Because after that I had to cook and make the food ready. So my time was gone. Then again next day she came. So I thought that, again she has come. Anyway, again I talked to her. Third day also she came. So I understood that now she is free at that time and she comes just to chit-chat. But my mind was feeling sorry about it. That later on, that concentration that I used to have at that time, I was not getting later on. So I thought that I cannot tell her that I don't welcome you or whatever. So suddenly an idea came to me. I started cooking at that time. So I started cooking. When she came, I welcomed her, made her sit, brought tea and everything. I sat with her and whatever chit-chat she was doing, I was listening. But in between, my pressure cooker will go blow, shoo, and then I will run to the kitchen. Or I would go and stir the curries in the pot. So her chit-chatting was having a little disturbances. So one day was gone. Second day also she came. Again the same thing she found. Third day I found she is not entering my house. With her son, she just went past my house and went and entered another house. So I felt that, when we want to do something, ideas will come to us. And without hurting anybody, it was achieved. But maybe some years earlier, day after day, I would have been caught in that. Because that yearning was so strong at that time that I felt that I must carry on with my studies at this time. So, Gayan vilajjo vichared asangaha. We sing, we do nama, we do bhajan, or wherever it is there, we sing, we hear that, and asangaha, without any attachment, without any lajja, without any shame. Many times we feel ashamed that people will feel that we have become very, very spiritual or very devotional. People may make remarks. Not that. So, like this, the Navayogis told that you must sing the songs of God. You must listen to the stories of God. And you must exchange it. Tell each other and be happy about it. Chant the shlokas by which your mind will be very elevated. This is what you should do. This one shloka, I think you can learn now. There is where I was just now telling you that there is a fountain of joy inside. So that joy, what is that joy? When will we have constant bliss around us? So in Bhagavatam there is a shloka which says, Akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasaha maya santushta manasaha sarva sukhamaya dishaha akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasaha maya santushta manasaha sarva sukhamaya dishaha. Akinchanasya. What is akinchanasya? This shloka says, this also you must learn. Yesterday's, I don't know how many of you have taken down or tried to learn, but you must learn. At least the meaning you should keep in your mind. This is one shloka which says, for whom is always sukha, always happiness? Who is the person who can always get happiness? The one who is akinchana, who has no possessiveness. No possessiveness. Why is it that we are not happy? Why is it that we are fearful? Because we always cling, we always have attachment, and we are always having expectations from people. That is why the mind always remains agitated. So the agitated mind cannot be happy. Right? Agitated mind, when the mind is agitated, it cannot be happy. So when there is agitation in the mind, happiness cannot dawn. So to be happy always, when a person is non-possessive, everything we can have, but we should know that it doesn't belong to us. It doesn't belong to us. Any day, anything can be snatched away. Snatched away simply. So, but we feel so proud that we possess wealth, property, name, fame, recognition, prestige, and so many things. A big house, many cars, all comforts. We are all very good in life. One cannot be proud about it. One must, even if one has it, one must know that nothing belongs to me. I belong to the Supreme. I belong to the Supreme. Only because He gives us, we are enjoying. Otherwise, I would have nothing to enjoy. So, if we want to proceed in this path, we should also have this feeling in the mind. What is that? Non-possessiveness. Non-possessiveness. Shantasya. It's not coming. Okay. You just listen. Where is Namrata? That shloka is not coming. Last one. So, So non-possessiveness is one quality which we should try to cultivate. Non-possessiveness. Akinchanasya dantasya. That is, the senses should be restrained. What should be restrained? The senses. We have got 5 senses. All should be restrained. Moderately we should use them. That is, not becoming too much, interested in enjoying food, this, that. That is the mind. The senses should be not so much finding joy from outside objects. We should look inside. And also the mind should be restrained. Dantasya shantasya. When the mind is absolutely quiet. So, again, what do you understand from this? Thus, throughout the day, our day is what? I think better we stop this, because everybody's attention is towards this. Okay, stop. So again I say that akinchanasya shantasya dantasya samachetasaha. This shloka is saying that one who is non-possessive, one whose senses are restrained, mind is calm, one who finds equality in everything. That is, his mind is very, very stable and neutral. That person, maya santushta manasaha. And when that person is completely contented and satisfied by only having me as the treasure. I'll explain this well. Only having me. Who is saying? God is saying. Krishna is saying. Only for that person, sarvaha sukhamaya dishaha. Everywhere he will find happiness and happiness. Everywhere happiness do we feel? No. When we are in certain cases we feel happy, in certain times we do not feel happy. But what is this? That we will have, there is a stage when we can be always happy. That is, we do not have freedom, we do not have any kind of fear, any kind of anxiety or tension. Mind is very, very happy and peaceful always. And by gaining these qualities, what is it? Non-possessiveness. Always reminding oneself that I have to be non-possessive. Nothing belongs to me. If there is pride for something, says people are very, very learned, very scholarly people, or any skill that we have, we cannot be proud about it. Then the mind and the senses should be restrained. There should be equal mindedness for everything. And maya santushta manasaha. Being absolutely contented by the feeling that I may have everything, but for me, God is supreme. The I or Brahman or God, anything you can say, is supreme in my mind. I know that only by knowing about God, only by knowing about my own self, only by knowing about Brahman, I can reach that state of unaffectedness, and by nothing else. Do you get me? So, this is how, we are listening, we are trying to understand, but still the question is, what do I do every day? What do I do every moment? After some time, I will forget. After some time, yesterday so many of our devotees, they told that, yes, it was we needed this prodding. Because after some time we forget. After some time that yearning is not there, that fervor is not there. Many other things come and occupy our mind. So if you really want to strive to reach that spot or the stage or the state then what should we do every day? I would say, first of all, we must feel that we are blessed enough. We must have a gratitude in our mind towards God, towards the fact that at least, oh God, you have made us hear that such a thing is possible. Such a thing is possible. And that we can proceed towards that path. So, fill the mind with blessedness and gratitude, and then be very humble to learn. Very humble to learn. Whenever we are hearing, whenever we are listening, maybe we are in a satsang, or we are listening to the words actually from a Mahatma, then what should be our attitude? You should completely, as if we are a piece of cloth, and we would simply fall, supply at the feet of the Master and hear. Hear and get drenched. Drenched by what? By the nectar. The nectar which is flowing out from the mouth of the speaker, the mouth of the wise person who has realized, who can take you by his words to that state. You must listen to him as if you are getting drenched and feeling the coolness of the words. And you should feel blessed. And few things we must do every day. What are the things? Constantly reminding ourselves about the real identity that I am, about God in our lives. Who is God? What are the qualities of a devotee? What qualities we should gain? About this we should be constantly remembering. So yesterday we learned this sloka, Akasha Vallepa Vidura Goham. Suppose you like to chant this, and you should try to get something where you can hear this. Even if you do not understand or chant it properly, you just read it. There are such slokas. See, I will chant some sloka. Just listen. Just listen. Asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punah Satchidananda rupoham ahamevaham avyayah Nitya Shuddha Vimuktoham Nirakaroham Avyayah Bhumananda Swarupoham Ahamevaham Avyayah Nityoham Niravadyoham Nirakaroham Achyutah Paramananda Rupoham Ahamevaham Avyayah. What are these things saying? They are talking about the self. Talking about the attributes of the self. So constantly remind yourself that I am asangaha, I have no attachment. Why are we suffering? Why are we fearful? Because of our attachment. Suppose something happens to my daughter, my son, my near and dear ones, what will happen? Or my job or my property, what will happen? The attachment that we have, that attachment makes us fearful. So just chant this, asangoham, 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 punah punah. Punah punah means again and again, again and again. I am unattached, I am unattached. Satchidananda rupoham, ahamevaham avyayah. I am Satchidananda Rupa. I am Sat, Chit and Ananda. I am the existence, I am eternal. Nothing can happen to me. When something happens to me, my mind gets affected, but the actual I does not get affected at all. I am Satchidananda. I am the Ananda. I am the Sat. I am the Ananda. Ahamevaham avyayah. Avyayah means Vyaya in Sanskrit means which decreases. I am the one who has no change. It cannot be cut. It cannot be decreased. In Bhagavad Gita, the sloka, I think this sloka you can learn. What is that sloka? Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयमपा अदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः नैनं. You want to learn this? This will be very helpful for you. Nainam chindanti shastrani. See, when your mind is very, very affected, you feel absolutely hopeless, affected. Nainam chindan, it is talking about the soul, my real I, my identity. It says that weapons cannot cut me. Shastrani means weapons. Weapons cannot cut me. Pavakaha, the fire cannot burn me. Then water cannot wet me. And the wind cannot dry me. So, I am that. That is, I cannot be made afflicted. This is I. So, we can constantly, while doing work, while driving to the office, while you are marketing, while you are eating food, when you have gone to bed, just remember this. How can we go to that stage? Only by remembrance, only by making a habit of remembering that I am this, I am this, I am this. I am not a weakling. I have strength. I have got so much of strength. I am not a weak person. I am not a puny little creature who gets affected by anything and everything. No. Chant. Nainam chindanti shastrani. Nainam dahati pavakaha. Na chainam kledayantyapo. न शोषयति मारुतः नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः. Together. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. Will you remember this? We'll try to remember this. So like this, throughout the day, we must remember who we are. And whenever we get up in the morning, early in the morning, we get up, we wash our mouth, we take bath, we start maybe. Those who have spiritual routines or devotional routines, they may be doing puja. But in all these things, we just do in which manner? We start doing, we may be sitting at the shrine, puja shrine, but our mind gets agitated or anxious about the next pieces of work that is awaiting us. So our mind doesn't remain restless even when we are sitting for our prayers. So how can we bring God into that? How can we still remember? How can we still feel a divinity? What should be our aim? The aim is to be fearless and having freedom. That is a topic we have given, and we are trying to understand that. But how will it be easy for us to go there when throughout we can find a divinity surrounding us? A divinity. That is as if there is a presence protecting us. And what is that presence? What presence is that? I think the light. So, What is that presence? The indweller. We must feel our indweller inside us. And we should try to feel him, feel his presence. So, right in the morning when we get up, whatever work we are doing, we must think of God. As if when we make the bed, we straighten our bed, we talk to God and say that, oh God, if I am given a chance to clean a temple, I will clean this room in a similar manner. You understand? You are doing your own work, but you are thinking and telling God that if I am given the chance, an opportunity to do some seva or service in a temple, how I will do it, with what devotion in my mind, I will do all my work throughout the day in that manner, because I feel that you are the one who is giving me my day and my work to be done. So, whatever we talk, it must be full of the thought of God. Whatever work we do, we should do with God thought. Whatever we hear, it should be having the thought of God. In Bhagavatam there is a sloka, Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam. Vani gunanukathane shravanau kathayam. Hastau cha karmasu manastava padayornaha. Smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname. Drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. Vani gunanukathane. You know this is... Achha. Vani gunanukathane. Shravanau kathayam. Hastau cha karmasu. Manastava padayornaha. Smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname. Drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. Vani gunanukathane. Shravanau kathayam. Hastau cha karmasu. Manastava padayornaha. Smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname. Drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. See, as you were chanting, I was thinking what I should tell you so that you can pick up a little routine in your life. You know, the most important thing is that if you really want to proceed in this path, what is this spiritual path? What is it showing us? It promises us that kind of a state where we can reach, where the mind will not be affected by anything, neither by happiness nor by misery. The mind will be always stable and you will have eternal bliss, happiness and peace. This is what all our scriptures are constantly telling us, promising us. Now, how do we go about it? What do we do? I have talked a lot of things, but still, I myself feel that something concrete has not been told. What you can follow. And if you follow, you will find it's a great, blissful adventure. I can tell it from my own experience. It's an adventure. Our life revolves around spirituality. We forget that. We are not the body, we are the soul, and that is the spirit in us. So it revolves around spirituality. We forget it. Now our task is to remember it. Now how will we get onto that road, that track? One has to. Many of you are on the track. But how do you get inspired again and again? Because the world is such, household is such, that it completely occupies and engages you many things which just takes you away from the path. You know what Parikshit asked Shukadeva? Parikshit had only 7 days left because he was cursed that on the 7th day he will be bitten by a serpent and he will die. So he knew that his days are numbered and he has only 7 days in his hand. So he thought that all along I thought that I am a great devotee. But if I was a devotee, how is it that I did not have a devotee-like quality of respecting the elders, that to a Brahmin and a sage? I have insulted a sage and now I have got cursed. So I have understood that I was only thinking about the externals, my kingdom, my treasury, my army, my queens, my property, my wealth, all those things. And my name and fame as a great king, I was completely in that. I did not fully have the true qualities of a devotee. So now that I have been cursed, my days are numbered, I want to completely get absorbed in the thought of God, which I was not earlier, though I thought I was a devotee. I think that is the case with all of us. We feel we are devotees, we have belief in God, we have faith in God, we worship, we do meditation, we read so many scriptures, or we discuss so many things, we go to listen to lectures, we go for satsangs. That's not enough. One has to have a focus in life, and that should be the spirituality, the spirit in us, the soul in us, who is God in us, the indweller. So when Shukadeva came that way, Parikshit had taken to prayopavesha, which means leaving food and drink. He sat by the side of the river and he was contemplating on God, and he was asking so many scholars and pandits and Brahmins had gathered there, not to speak of the countrymen. He was asking the learned ones, please tell me what I should do at this time. When my days are numbered, I have come to know this. Death is imminent for me. So, at that time Shukadeva came, and Parikshit, after worshipping him and showing him respect, said, Yat shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam nibhi prabhu smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. He asked this question. Yat shrotavyam atho japyam. He said, O Lord, my dear sage, my days are numbered. Can you imagine the scene? He knows his death is imminent. He has left everything. The emperor who had everything, has left everything. He's sitting on mud, the earth, by the side of the river. Folding his hand with tearful eyes, he is asking the sage, O sage, tell me what I should do, what I should hear. What I should hear. And yat shrotavyam atho japyam. What japa I should do, what I should chant. Yat kartavyam nirbhiprabho. What is my duty at this time? Smartavyam bhajaniyam va. What I should remember and what I should worship. Please tell me. He also added, Bruhi yadva viparyayam. Please tell me also what I should not do. Very, very important. What I should not do. Because normally what happens? You go to a temple, you give puja, you worship, or you go for a satsang, and that may be 1 hour, maximum 2 hours. Rest of the time, what are you doing? What should not be done? For some time, you are bringing your mind inside you, within you, trying to see the God inside you. See, when we go and face an idol in a temple, we look at the deity. After some time, what do we do? Our eyes close. Where are we seeing the deity at that time? Inside us. All of us. All of us. We do not keep looking at the deity like this. After some time, our eyes close because we see the idol in our heart. So, we have, for that moment, those moments, we have taken the mind inside. Rest of the time, what are we doing? Only our eyes are outside. All the senses are outside. We do not give any time to think of God. Do not take our mind inside, even if we have time. You will say that we are so busy. We have to look after our children, our household, we have to go shopping, we have to cook, we have to do this, do that. Yes. Yes, God has given us these responsibilities. We have to do. But don't you agree that there is time which you can spend for yourselves? And those are the moments when we can look inside. Just like the story that I said, not story, is the real thing. When I wanted, I found out time. Not hurting that lady, I found out time for me to read about God, to be drenched in the leelas and sports of God. But most of the time we do not do. And most of the time we spend in talking unnecessarily. Unnecessary talk. So, in our scriptures, there are many places it says, don't talk unnecessarily. Don't talk. Actually, if you make suppose few people are sitting together and you tell them, yes, you talk, but you cannot talk about others. You will find that all will keep quiet. Because that is what we do. When we sit together, we are only talking about something or other. About others, not always blamefully, but somebody's daughter, somebody's son-in-law, and all these things. So if we say that don't talk about others, everybody will be quiet. So what our scriptures say? Our scriptures say that talk about God. Talk about God. And then you will be feeling happy and you will be feeling satisfied yourself. So, this path that we have to tread, now we must tread this path. What we should do? We should make a routine for ourselves. Routine. Don't be afraid. The routine is not difficult at all. We have routines in our life. Every one of us, we take bath, we take food, we go to sleep. Whatever happens in our day, these three things we do not leave. Is it not? So, add one more, that I will think about God or I will do these things for some time. What? Say, reading something about God, or few together you can discuss something, some good, whatever you have read, listening to good bhajans or kirtan, or singing yourself, or this kind of shlokas which will elevate your mind. In Vivekachudamani there is a sloka. Anatma chintanam tyaktva kashmalam dukkha karanam chintaya atmanam anandarupam yan mukti karanam. Anatma chintanam tyaktva, it is not there. Anatma chintanam, there are so many shlokas in the head that whatever comes I am telling. Some I have thought I will tell, and some are coming just like that. Anatma chintanam tyaktva, kashmalam dukkha karanam. This shloka says that always man is talking about what? Something other than the self, other than the soul. That is something regarding himself, the body, mind, intelligence, and all that one possesses. Regarding himself and about the things that we possess. That is what we do throughout the day. If you go to the root of it, you will find it is only that. So, anatma chintanam tyaktva kashmalam dukkha karanam. And this anatma chinta, anatma means atma is the soul, anatma means not the soul, anything different from the soul. Kashmalam dukkha karanam. Anything which is not the atma, atma is what? Eternal, changeless, imperishable, always happy, always non-afflicted, non-affected, no fear in that, undivided, it is only one. So that atma, and the opposite of anatma is what? Perishable, changeful, always changing, giving us sorrow. Say when our children, they are small, they listen to us. And we are so happy looking at them, handling them, playing with them. Let them grow up to 5 years, they will not listen. I will not read now, I will not go to school, I will not eat this thing. And then further, they won't study sometimes. Swamiji is one disciple. So much of trouble they are having with the son. The son is in class 9 or so. Doesn't study, and they are quite well off. So, only enjoying and enjoying. So the father put him into a hostel in Hyderabad. There the students are not allowed to have cell phones. So the poor boy goes to the gate and whoever is passing says, "Uncle, can you give me the phone? I want to talk to my father." And when the father, and some people, they feel a little sorry, they give. So then he will be threatening the parents that you will see what I can do. You will not see me anymore. And all that. So much of problem. Ultimately he came back. He was not wanting to even sit for the exam. Somehow gave the exams, came back for holidays and wouldn't go. So they were calling us, talking to us, we were talking to the boy. So always everything is not happy. So anatma chintana, whatever is anatma, whether it is your children, whether it is own learning, whether it is your a very big place in your office, big post, and your possessions, everything, whatever is an anatma, it will create some kind of dukkha and suffering to you. It will not give you happiness. So, all the anatma things are giving you dukkha, but what are we doing? Always dwelling on these only. Always dwelling in anatma chinta. Chinta means thought. So, the text is telling us, the seer, this is written by Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is telling, Chintaya, okay, we have been told that why are you constantly thinking of anatma, whatever is different from soul. Okay, so what should we think of? Chintaya, think of. Atmanam ananda rupam, think of the ananda rupa of Atma. Think about that if I am able to touch Atma, if I am able to be one with that experience of knowing the self, then that Ananda Rupa is full of bliss. Atma is full of bliss, Sachidananda. Chintaya Atmanam Ananda Rupam Yan Muktikaranam, which is the way to be liberated, to be free always. So this is what. So now the routine that I was talking of. So always think, not much time is left. So think that you must have a routine. Just give some time to yourself. And that time giving, maybe many of you are giving, but the time should not become a mechanical time. It is not only reading, not only chanting something, not only listening to a lecture. It should create introspection in your mind. Introspection. Am I growing more and more love for this path? Am I enjoying this path? And my many kinds of, likings in this world, which gives me only unhappiness, is it falling off? Am I growing in dispassion? I don't want to use the word dispassion here because many will feel afraid that, oh, what is this dispassion? No. I'm talking about that the engagement that we have, we get engaged in certain things, say chit-chatting, going for parties, just going out and taking food unnecessarily, spending your time in useless things. Many things we do uselessly. Many talk we do uselessly. Whether all those things are falling off from our life, and my interest, the time that I am getting for myself, am I using it fruitfully, thinking or reading or introspecting and loving this path? Am I progressing? This introspection should be there. And while doing any work, right from the morning to night, whatever we think, we speak, we work, we are in activity, whether in everything we find the presence of God with us. Presence of God with us. Feeling that He is there. And lastly, I would say, always think that contentment we have to grow. What is that? Being contented in this life. Whatever the life is, everybody will have a different life. Everybody's life is different. But am I contented? Yadrichhalabha santushtaha. That whatever God has given me, am I satisfied by that or not? It's not that I will not try to make my life better. Yes, materially you may make it better, but spiritually also you make it better. We always try to make our life better materially, but spiritually we do not give any time. And so this time has to be given, and all the things that will make us feel strongly established in our soul, whatever we listen, whatever we sing, whatever we read, for all those things, whatever discussions that we make, everything, whatever will elevate our mind, whatever will take away these fears and constrictions from the mind, we should try to do that and not do the other things. Not do the other things. That is, all the useless, non-essentials we should drop. Non-essentials we should drop. All the while think that we are surrounded by a divinity. I am not able to understand it because I do not give any attention to it. The divinity is always there. The divine creator, He is surrounding us always. He is with His stretched arms to give us happiness and bliss. He wants to make us feel secure in His arms. The security I try to get from outside things, from my money, from my property, from my people around me, from my post and my prestige. But the security cannot be had from there. Security is only in His lap. Only when we feel wherever we are in His lap. I am surrounded by that. If we think like this, the thinking process becomes so divine. Thinking process. You have to make a habit. You have to make a habit. This is what I want to hammer into your heads, that you have to make a habit. This habit has to be there. At one time when I joined the ashram, I remember that I was sick. So I was sick. I was left in a room, ashram, so I'm in my room. And I was thinking that, nobody came to see me. I'm all alone throughout the day. And all those thoughts, you start feeling, self-pity starts growing. So then at one point I felt, why should I think like this? All the sound, because the room was surrounded by trees, so I'm hearing the, sound of the breeze on the leaves going away. So I think that if I think this breeze is God's voice, how will I feel? If I think that wherever I am in His lap, then all this self-pity will go. Let me feel like this. Whatever sound I hear, it is as if the flute of Krishna. So when we start thinking like that, nature has so many things to tell us. So many things. You will never feel bored. You will never feel alone. Even if you feel alone, it is alone you who is pervading everything. You understand this? It's alone. Maybe I am alone. But I am alone pervading everything. So I am the universal self. So all those thoughts will fill the mind. It gives so much of joy. So much of joy. And not only that, it gives so much of love for everybody. So I have now remembered. I told you that if I get time, I will tell a story. It is also not a story. It happened, I told you that I asked Swamiji that I want to be like you. And he asked, what is it that you want to become? What qualities? I said, your ananda. The ananda that you radiate and your love for everybody. So I think that is one thing that since Swamiji's, what was Swamiji's reply? Swamiji said, whatever quality you want to have, love that quality and the quality will be yours. And it is a general statement. Anything that we want to have, if we yearn it and we think about it, we will not do anything against it, opposing it. We'll always be wanting to do that only. So I think by my Guru's grace, solely that love, it's a love which is unmotivated love, unconditional. I started getting touch of it here and there. So what I'm going to tell you is that actually I consider what I'm going to tell you to be a great treasure in my life, which I'll never forget. So I was sick, and I was just 2 years back. I was sick, I was in the hospital. So there, every day from the hospital, so many departments, they will come to ask you whether everything is going right or whatever. So I used to talk to them, and because I stayed for quite some days, they became quite familiar. Out of them, the boys who used to bring food, some of them became quite close, especially one or two. So the two boys used to come together to give food. So one I could understand was not talking Malayalam very well. So I asked him that, are you a Malayali? Then he said, no. Then I said, then where from are you? He said, I am from Nepal. So I started talking to him in Hindi. And he was very, very happy because he got a chance to talk in Hindi after some time maybe. So then I asked him where from he is, etc., how often he goes home, what is the facility for them to stay, to take food, etc., etc. Whenever I would be awake, and he would have come. So then he started calling me madam. So Namrata and another devotee, Maya, they were together, they were looking after me. So Maya said that don't call madam, say Ma or Mataji or Maji. So he felt very shy and just hung his head and said, I will call you Mammiji. So he must be calling his own mother Mammiji. So Mammiji, he used to call me Mammiji, and whenever he would come, he will spend quite some time talking to me. So now, sometimes he would come also, because he would be given duty in some other blocks. So one day, it was Sunday, and Sunday most of the main chefs were on leave. So my food was very, very special, without onion, without garlic, without oil, less salt, etc., nearly boiled. So they used to make and give that food. That day, the food was having onion, garlic, everything. The food was not special. Moreover, there was a hair in the food. So Maya called the people there in kitchen and said that it's not a complaint, but this has happened. So the chef came, whoever was the chef, and these two boys, they came. They said that, oh, what shall we make something else, etc. Then this boy also told me that I'll be here up to 6 o'clock today. And I talked to him and he went away saying that my duty is up to 6 o'clock. That day dinner came at 8 o'clock and this boy brought the dinner. So this boy, I said, oh, you have not gone home? You said that you will be only up to 6 o'clock. He said, no, they told me that you are very close to Mataji, so you be here, see that that food is okay and it is taken in a proper manner, so you go and deliver the food. So they have retained me. So I felt very touched. Poor thing has come early in the morning. So I said, oh, you stayed back for me. For 2 hours you have been waiting to give me food. Then he said, Mammiji, you have given me so much love, that what of 2 hours? I can wake up the whole night for you. So, tears came to my eyes and I thought, maybe I have got a little bit of love that I wanted, the love that I could give to people. Maybe little bit I have got by my Guru's grace and blessings. Otherwise, a boy whom I will not meet anymore, he saying that he can wake up throughout the night, and he felt that I have given him love. And what I have done? Only talk to him lovingly. That's all I have done. So from our day-to-day life, we have many things to learn. To proceed on this path, this is not a path which the scriptures, it's not a dry path at all. It is not a dry path. It has so much to give. It can melt our heart. It can moist our whole being. Okay. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samastavari Nivaha Punyas Samastah Kriyaha Vacha Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishte Parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishte Parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.